about HIPAA and corporate compliance, and then after this, I'm going to talk to you about BEST, our BEST training. It's a mini version of what all our new employees get, okay? So before we get started, I want to make sure that everybody grabs a HIPAA and corporate compliance acknowledgement form. If you didn't, please raise your hand and I'll make sure you get one. Okay, so there's several. All right.
Can you raise your hand again, please?
Raise your hands real high. Thank you. So this form, once we complete a series of videos, all of our new employees, it's a requirement for these videos to be shown to all our new employees. And since you're going to be working with patients, it's required for you guys to see it as well. All right. So after we watch the videos, I'm going to talk to you about some real life scenarios that have happened here at Baptist Health. We don't talk about these to scare you. We just talk about these to let you know that these things do happen and there's consequences to those. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start the videos. If you have questions at any point, please raise your hand, and I'm more than happy to answer them. Okay. All right.
In August 1996, Congress passed the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, also known as HIPAA. This act required that the U.S. Attorney General and the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services establish a health care fraud and abuse control program. This program coordinates the efforts of federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies to fight health care fraud. One of the main objectives of the program is to support and encourage compliance within the healthcare industry. Baptist Health has always been committed to complying with all applicable federal, state, and local laws, rules, and regulations. We've developed and implemented policies and procedures, processes, and internal controls to help ensure that we consistently comply with the thousands of regulatory requirements. In September of 1997, the board authorized the establishment and implementation of a comprehensive corporate compliance program covering all entities owned and operated by Baptist Health. A corporate compliance officer was appointed and was given full responsibility and authority for developing, implementing, and administering our compliance program. In addition, the board appointed a corporate compliance committee, and they approved the Code of Ethical Conduct. You will review a copy of the code today. The code translates our values into very simple standards of conduct. Every person and company employed by or associated with Baptist Health is expected to comply with the code. This expectation applies to our administrative staff, employees, physicians, other members of professional staffs, students, volunteers, and major vendors and contractors. If you are a member of an administrative staff, a department director, a manager, or supervisor, you are responsible for ensuring that all individuals under your supervision clearly understand the federal, state, and local laws, rules, and regulations, as well as internal policies and procedures which apply to them, and that they understand that they are expected to comply. It's your responsibility to take steps to ensure that each person you supervise does so, and that you have processes in place to detect any instances of noncompliance. As a supervisor, you're also responsible for creating and maintaining a work environment which supports and encourages open and effective communication. The people you supervise should be comfortable communicating with you without any fear of punishment for good faith reporting. You're expected to address and promptly respond to all compliance questions and any concerns presented to you, and then to take corrective actions as necessary. At Baptist Health, consistent compliance and ethical conduct are not optional. The extent to which Baptist Health is in compliance as an organization depends greatly on your compliance, your commitment to practicing our values, and then your adherence to our Code of Ethical Conduct. By working together in a spirit of commitment and living our shared Christian values of service, honesty, respect, stewardship, and performance, every day we'll have an effective corporate compliance program.
Hello, I'm Bill Wadley, your Corporate Compliance Officer, and I'm here to talk to you about Baptist Health's compliance program and what it means to you and your job every day. At Baptist Health, we're committed to doing the right things for the right reasons, professionally, ethically, and legally. No matter what your job function at Baptist Health, our success as a quality provider of health care depends on you, your professionalism, and your personal integrity. Our primary commitment at Baptist Health is to our patients. Our primary responsibility is to provide medically necessary care, to submit fair, accurate bills for that care, and to prevent fraud and abuse in our healthcare system. Our very complicated and dynamic business environment demands that we provide care more efficiently and control costs. Since the government pays for the care of many of our patients, we must strictly follow many laws and regulations that govern how we provide care and are reimbursed for it. These laws are complex and constantly changing. Our Baptist Health compliance process provides a structure to help us reach our goals and meet our legal and ethical responsibilities. Our program is modeled on the U.S. Office of the Inspector General's published compliance guidelines, and there are 7 elements. Element 1, Baptist Health's Code of Ethical Conduct and Written Policies and Procedures. So what is the Code of Conduct? It's a guide to ethical, moral, and legal behavior at work. You can use it to help you make decisions at work, especially if you run into a situation that's unclear or confusing. You'll be asked to read an acknowledgement form and sign it to confirm that you understand and promise to abide by the Code of Conduct. This form will be part of your permanent employment record. Our policies and procedures describe the tasks, responsibilities, and standards for specific jobs based on best practices and relevant laws and regulations. When well-defined, they prevent worksite problems and help resolve them if they occur. For example, we provide only medically necessary prescribed services and products that meet our patients' clinical needs. We make sure that the frequency, amount, and duration of these services are appropriate. We measure clinical outcomes and patient satisfaction to confirm that our quality care goals are being met. We make sure that all clinical, financial, and other documents are completed correctly and promptly. Our patients receive care only from licensed and certified providers who have appropriate education and expertise. We do not discriminate in admission or access to care. We provide the same level of care to everyone regardless of race, color, religion, national origin, age, disability, or any other areas protected by law. Baptist Health does not tolerate discrimination of any kind. We do not tolerate verbal, mental, or physical abuse. We never deny care or attention to a patient or ignore a patient's needs. We communicate with our patients and their families openly and honestly. They have the right to be fully informed about their conditions and either consent or refuse treatment. We protect and respect personal privacy of all of our patients. All patient records must be kept confidential. Only people who have a legitimate reason for information may access patient records unless the patient is given written authorization. Because many forms and reports have the status of legal documents, they must be accurate, confidential, and properly maintained and protected. These include medical records, bills, claims, and invoices, data supporting cost reports, and records of our compliance process. Element 2, Baptist Health's compliance team. As Corporate Compliance Officer, oversee the compliance program and how it's run throughout the system. I'm supported by the Corporate Compliance Committee, made up of key representatives from all Baptist Health entities. The compliance program is also supported by our senior leadership and the Board of Trustees. Element 3, training and education. Each employee receives training about his or her individual compliance responsibilities during orientation and again during the year. If you work in clinical care, billing, or submission of claims, you will also receive specific compliance training related to your job. Your supervisor will tell you about your requirements and arrange for you to complete them. Element 4, the 4-step reporting process. For our compliance program to function successfully, you must be able to ask questions and report problems. Reporting compliance issues is a must, and it's everybody's responsibility. We will never allow anyone to punish or retaliate against you for making a good faith report about a compliance issue. In every situation, our employees' rights will be respected. Element 5, internal monitoring and auditing. Even a small or innocent mistake can affect patient care and compromise Baptist Health's reputation. We have internal personnel and external auditors who constantly review our operations, processes, record keeping, and reports to make sure we're in compliance. Element 6, corrective action. If an audit uncovers a problem or someone reports a compliance violation, we act quickly to investigate, devise a plan of correction, and resolve the situation. Element 7, disciplinary guidelines. These describe the consequences if you violate our code of ethical conduct or our policies and procedures. They include warnings, suspension, or dismissal. If you suspect a compliance violation, do not report it. You could face disciplinary action as well. As you can see, the compliance program is a very comprehensive process, important to you and the way you do your job. In fact, adhering to our compliance process is a job requirement and part of every employee's annual performance review. Compliance violations hurt our reputation as a trustworthy healthcare provider. Making sure we're in compliance is everybody's business and an investment in our future. The compliance process helps us prevent fraud and abuse. It promotes quality care and sound business practices. You could say Baptist Health's compliance program is an investment in our future. Thank you for being a part of our compliance program every day.
Hello, I'm Troy Wells, President and CEO of Baptist Health. As members of the Baptist Health family, you and I share an obligation to protect and maintain Baptist Health's long-standing reputation for honesty and integrity. We do this by making personal commitments to consistently practice our shared Christian values of service, honesty, respect, stewardship, and performance, and by always conducting ourselves in an ethical manner. Each of us has our own code of ethical conduct, which is based on our personal values. However, when we become part of the Baptist Health family, our conduct is expected to reflect the organization's values. This expectation applies to every person and company associated with Baptist Health. You may be asking yourself why so much emphasis is placed on ethical conduct. The reason is that Baptist Health is much more than a name. It's people like you and me working together to fulfill our mission that gives real meaning to our name. Our patients, their families and friends, and all others we come in contact with see Baptist Health through their impression of us. If we live our values every day and conduct ourselves in an ethical manner, Baptist Health's values will be reflected in the way we do our jobs, in our attitude, and in the way we treat others. Many people have worked very hard over the years to build Baptist Health's outstanding reputation and respect for those we serve. It's our responsibility to ensure that we honor and maintain that reputation. Ethical conduct simply means doing the right thing, and this code of ethical conduct is our guide. So please listen carefully, because it is very important that you understand your ethical responsibilities as a member of the Baptist Health family. Your commitment to our values, ethical conduct, and serving others with your special talents and abilities will help us accomplish our mission of meeting the healthcare needs of our communities and providing high-quality patient care with Christian compassion and personal concern. In fulfilling our mission, we place special emphasis on the values of service, honesty, respect, stewardship, and performance.
Service. Quality service is the foundation of any successful business and is even more essential in the provision of health care. Our success is dependent on each employee's desire and commitment to serve others.
Honesty. Adherence to the moral values of fairness, integrity, and honor in all relationships is a major priority. Respect. All people are to be treated as individuals with courtesy and thoughtfulness. Respect for each person's dignity and worth is essential. Patients are to be treated with concern and compassion.
Stewardship. We prudently commit our resources using our talents and strengths in an effective and efficient manner. Our facilities and equipment are maintained with special pride.
Performance. Desired characteristics of Baptist Health employees include initiative, dedication, talent, and knowledge tempered by common sense. The highest possible performance from all employees is expected, but never at the expense of our values. It is imperative that complacency and mediocrity be avoided through innovation and progress. Standards of conduct. As you carry out your daily responsibilities, you'll make many decisions. These standards of conduct have been prepared to serve as your guide to making the right choices. Follow the rules. Report violations. Respect everyone. Be honest. Protect privacy. Don't request gifts or gratuities. Don't accept gifts. Don't offer or solicit bribes or kickbacks. Avoid conflicts of interest. Keep accurate and timely records. Protect our assets. Your compliance with our standards of conduct is a condition of your employment and other association with Baptist Health. Your failure to comply with these requirements will result in a prompt, appropriate disciplinary action, including the possibility of termination. These very basic and simple standards are explained in more detail in this training. If you practice them every day and use them to guide you when deciding if something is right or wrong, you will conduct yourself in an ethical manner as a vital member of the Baptist Health family. Follow the rules. The operations at Baptist Health are governed by laws, rules, regulations of many federal, state, and local agencies, as well as our own policies and procedures. We are committed to consistent compliance with all applicable regulatory requirements. As a member of the Baptist Health family, it is your personal duty and responsibility to comply with all regulatory requirements, professional standards, and policies and procedures which apply to you. Ethical conduct means doing the right thing. It is very important to remember that members of Baptist Health family are expected to follow the rules because our values tell us it is the right thing to do, not simply because it's required. Report violations. In addition to your responsibility for personal compliance, you have a responsibility to Baptist Health to report any activities which either you know or suspect are in violation of federal, state, or local laws, rules, regulations, or Baptist Health policies and procedures. If you know or suspect that something is being done which violates either regulatory requirements or policies or procedures, you are expected to report that information through the appropriate channels, starting with your supervisor. Your failure to report illegal, immoral, unethical, or non-compliant activities will result in appropriate disciplinary action. Open communication is the key to consistent compliance. How to report violations. If you have questions or concerns about an activity you either know or suspect is illegal, immoral, unethical, or non-compliant, what should you do? Talk to your supervisor. You should always talk to your supervisor first about questions or concerns. Your supervisor is responsible for creating and maintaining an environment which encourages and supports honest and open communication. Your supervisor is also responsible for addressing and responding to your questions and concerns in a timely manner. If you feel uncomfortable talking to your supervisor, or if your supervisor is involved in something you're concerned about, Baptist Health has provided several other ways for you to ask questions and express your concern. However, you must remember that the first communication should be with your supervisor if possible. You can contact other Baptist Health resources. If you are unable to resolve your question or concerns with your supervisor, you can take advantage of other resources, including the Human Resources or Corporate Compliance departments. You can call the confidential Baptist Health Compliance Line. The Baptist Health Compliance Line is a toll-free reporting line which is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your call will be answered by an independent call service, not a Baptist Health employee. The compliance line does not have caller ID, recording devices, or tracking equipment.
You are encouraged to give your name to assist the compliance officer in investigating your report. However, if you prefer to remain anonymous, you will be assigned a confidential identification number so you can call back and receive information on the status of your report. All calls made to the confidential compliance line will be documented and presented to the Baptist Health Compliance Officer for review and referral and investigation if necessary. The compliance line's toll-free number is 1-800-991-0888. Or you can contact me, the Baptist Health Compliance Officer. You may contact me in several ways. By telephone, area code 501-202-1323, by email, or by letter addressed to the Baptist Health Corporate Compliance Officer, 9601 Baptist Health Drive, Little Rock, Arkansas, 72205, or in person by scheduling a meeting with me.
Protecting your identity. If you report a known or suspected violation in good faith, your identity will be kept confidential to the extent permitted by law, unless doing so prevents us from fully and effectively investigating the violation which you reported as required in our non-retaliation policy. Protecting you. Baptist Health will neither tolerate nor allow any punishment or reprisal, retaliation, against you for good faith reporting of your compliance concerns to your supervisor, the compliance line, or the compliance officer. You should immediately report any such actions to the compliance officer. Making false reports. Baptist Health takes all reports of known or suspected violations very seriously. If you make a report in good faith, you will be protected against reprisal or retaliation. However, reports of noncompliance which are known to be false when they are made will not be tolerated. Good faith reporting of a known or suspected violation is the right thing to do. Other reporting. Employees also should be aware that the Federal False Claims Act and the Arkansas Medicaid Fraud Act allow individuals to bring an action called a key town or whistleblower suit to enforce the government's right to recover for health care fraud committed by health care providers. A summary of these laws, the protections afforded to whistleblowers under these laws, and how these laws help prevent fraud, waste, and abuse in federal health care programs is available on the Baptist Health website. Anyone initiating or participating in a key town or whistleblower suit will not be discriminated or retaliated against in any manner by Baptist Health. Baptist Health continues to be committed to complying with all applicable federal, state, and local laws, rules, and regulations. We are also committed to preventing noncompliance and promptly identifying and correcting a noncompliant situation. But it takes all of us working together to ensure that we are in compliance. Your personal commitment to following the rules and reporting violations is essential to maintaining Baptist Health's commitment to corporate compliance. Respect everyone. Every individual associated with Baptist Health possesses special talents and skills which are needed to accomplish our mission. This includes members of our Board of Trustees, administrative staff, employees, physicians, students, volunteers, contractors, vendors, and many more. You are expected to treat everyone you come in contact with in your role at Baptist Health with the utmost courtesy and respect. Patient relations. Baptist Health's primary concern is for the well-being, comfort, and dignity of our patients. You are expected to treat all patients with Christian compassion and personal concern. Harassment. Verbal, sexual, physical, or emotional harassment of any member of the Baptist Health family will not be tolerated. Harassment results from a lack of respect for others and violates one of our basic values. If you experience any type of harassment, you should immediately report the situation to your supervisor. If you are not comfortable discussing the situation with your supervisor, or if you have talked to your supervisor and you do not feel the situation has been adequately addressed, you should talk to Human Resources, or you may report your concerns to the compliance officer either directly or through the compliance line. Discrimination. You are expected to treat every person associated with Baptist Health the same. You are expected not to discriminate against any person because of their race, color, creed, sex, national origin, religion, sexual orientation, marital status, veteran status, disability, source of payment, or ability to pay. Baptist Health also expects others not to discriminate against you for any of the reasons listed above. If you feel you are being discriminated against, promptly notify your supervisor. If you feel you cannot do that, then either contact your Human Resources Department or call the compliance line or the compliance officer for help.
Treat everyone with dignity and respect. Be honest. As one of our fundamental values, honesty is an expectation which cannot and will not be compromised. You are expected to be honest in all aspects of your role as a member of the Baptist Health family. We view dishonesty in very simple terms: lying, cheating, stealing, falsifying records. Dishonesty is taken very seriously at Baptist Health. You are expected to be honest in all of your work-related activities. Protect privacy. Information about Baptist Health, its patients, employees, physicians, financial status, internal operations, and other proprietary information is strictly confidential. You are not to disclose any confidential information without proper authorization. There are specific federal privacy and security regulations outlined in the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, which all employees are required to follow. These are national standards designed to protect who can see, obtain, or use patients' protected health information, or PHI. As an employee, you are required to attend or receive Baptist Health privacy and security training, use your knowledge of the privacy and security regulations to protect and promote patients' privacy in your work setting, direct patients and coworkers who have privacy complaints to the privacy officer at 501-202-1326. Direct patients who have questions about their privacy rights, including medical record review, amendment, restriction, or copies, to the Director of Health Information Management at your facility. Know that the Baptist Health Notice of Privacy Practices is a core document concerning HIPAA's privacy regulations. It is available in all admissions departments and on the Baptist Health webpage. Know that the Baptist Health Policy, Privacy, and Confidentiality of Protected Health Information, or PHI, which addresses HIPAA's privacy regulations and is available for reference on EmployeeNet. Know that the Baptist Health Policy, HIPAA Privacy and Security Discipline is available for reference on EmployeeNet. Use reasonable care to prevent the unauthorized disclosure of PHI by not discussing a patient's condition, status, or treatment with co-workers, patients, or their family members, or other providers in public areas, such as elevators or waiting rooms, where unauthorized persons may overhear. not leaving reports or other documents that contain PHI accessible and visible to unauthorized persons, not leaving PHI displayed on a computer screen and visible to unauthorized persons, not leaving phone messages on a patient's answering machine that may constitute PHI, for example, an appointment reminder message that includes the patient's name and the type of practice or reason for appointment, not transmitting PHI through any communication system such as email, text, social network sites that does not have proper safeguards. Only access electronic patient information, ePHI, when it is related to your duties as assigned. Violations of the federal privacy rules may subject the offenders to civil or criminal fines and penalties. Don't request gifts or gratuities, and don't accept gifts. Our value of service recognizes that quality patient care depends on each employee's desire and commitment to serve others. The value of performance establishes the expectation that every Baptist Health employee will provide service at their highest level of performance. Patients, visitors, vendors, contractors, and others may attempt to give you cash as a token of appreciation for your services. While such gestures are often sincere, accepting cash and requesting gifts or gratuities from patients or other sources is strictly prohibited. You may accept expressions of thanks through gifts of nominal value from patients or family members. This includes items such as flowers or candy. You may not accept gifts from vendors. If an appreciative patient or family member wants to give a gift of acknowledgement beyond a nominal value, you are expected to refer them to your department director, who will contact the Baptist Health Foundation so arrangements can be made to accept the gift for Baptist Health, or you may contact the foundation. If someone wants to make a substantial gift or donation to Baptist Health, contact Baptist Health Foundation 501-202-1839. Don't offer, solicit, or accept bribes or kickbacks. You may be in a position to influence decisions related to patient referrals, purchasing goods or services, or releasing confidential information. If you are in such a position, you are prohibited from offering, soliciting, or accepting any item which could affect your decisions or cause you to use your influence or position with Baptist Health in an inappropriate or unethical manner. This also applies not only to cash, but also to free or significantly discounted goods or services, office space, use of equipment, or other services provided to or by a person or company at less than fair market value. Offering, soliciting, or accepting bribes or kickbacks will result in immediate termination of your relationship with Baptist Health. Federal law is very strict regarding kickbacks, especially when related to physicians and the referral of patients. So it's very important to be sure that any activity or transaction you enter into does not violate federal anti-kickback statutes. If you are not sure, contact the compliance officer or call the compliance line.
Avoid conflicts of interest. You have a duty in your role as a member of the Baptist Health family to place the interests of Baptist Health ahead of your personal interests. You are expected to avoid situations in which your personal interests conflict or even appear to conflict with your responsibilities to Baptist Health. A conflict of interest occurs if an outside interest or activity may influence or appear to influence your ability to be objective in your decision-making, affect your job performance, or result in personal financial gain. The following are examples of situations which could result in a conflict of interest. engaging in outside employment, moonlighting, which affects your work at Baptist Health, accepting substantial gifts from any source, promoting a business in which you have either a direct or indirect interest from company time, selling items or soliciting donations at work, using your position to influence the hiring of a family member or close friend, engaging in political activities at work, accepting offers to attend entertainment or recreational events by vendors, misusing confidential information for personal gain or the benefit of others, serving as an officer, consultant, director, or employee of an organization which is a competitor of Baptist Health or which could do business with Baptist Health as a supplier, contractor, or customer. Hiring Baptist Health vendors or contractors to perform personal work for you or your family without appropriate administrative approval. Endorsing or giving a testimonial for a vendor, supplier, contractor, or trade organization without prior administrative approval. If you're involved in a situation or activity which could result or appear to result in a conflict of interest, you're expected to disclose that to your supervisor. If you're not sure if a conflict of interest exists, you can contact the compliance officer for a determination. It is important that you avoid even the appearance of a conflict of interest. Keep accurate and timely records. You're expected to ensure that all patients and business records for which you are responsible are accurate and completed on a timely basis. Failure to record information or the recording of false or misleading information will not be tolerated. All actions and transactions, regardless of whether they are medical, financial, operational, or administrative, must be accurately documented on a timely basis according to Baptist Health policies and procedures and all applicable federal, state, and local laws, rules, and regulations. It is particularly important that you remember that our medical records are the legal documents which describe the services our patients receive. They also provide supporting documentation for diagnoses and all patient charges. Therefore, it is imperative that all entries made in patients' medical records are complete and accurate, and that services are documented when they are performed by the person who performed them. If it's not documented, it wasn't done. Protect our assets. Baptist Health's assets are for use in providing